Inside the sterile white walls of the operating room, a woman's screams echoed. "Come on, you can do it! Push! It hurts! Help me!" After 3 years of marriage, the young couple finally received happy news. The doctor announced they were expecting a very active baby boy, and the woman endured a difficult pregnancy. Over 9 months passed, and their little boy was about to be born. They joyfully decorated the small room with blue, but when the baby's cry echoed in the operating room, the doctors exchanged puzzled looks. The father and mother widened their eyes in shock and fainted at the same time. That was me, Claire, a very cute baby girl. The doctor said it was a charming mistake, but that was just the first strange beginning of my life. Despite the small mix-up, I remained the apple of my parents' eyes, their only child. I loved pink, but also adored blue. I cherished Barbie, but also couldn't resist thrilling race cars. My dad owned a repair garage, and since I was 5, when Mom was too busy with weekend shifts, I often went with Dad. For a kid, the garage was an incredibly fascinating place with all sorts of strange tools and towering stacks of tires like mountains. "Dad, look at me!" In my excitement, I tripped and knocked over one of the tall stacks of tires. A tire fell and smashed the roof of a pickup truck. As I tried to think of a million reasons to explain the accident to Dad, the noise from the mechanics drew my attention.
"Pry them off! Quickly! Cut the forklift!"
It was my dad. His leg was trapped under one of the fallen tires. Without thinking, I rushed to his side. "Dad, don't worry! I'll save you!" To everyone's astonishment, I lifted the tire easily and tossed it aside. Once Dad was rescued, the panic turned to amazement. More people gathered, staring at me with jaws dropped.
How did you do that, Claire?
"I just lifted it. Easy peasy." To show off my ability, I picked up the fallen tires and stacked them neatly.
My little superhero!
Mom seemed shell-shocked when she found out I was going viral online. But instead of celebrating, she was worried and took me to see a doctor.
Claire is perfectly healthy. She just has more muscle mass than usual. But don't worry, everything is fine.
On our way back from the checkup, a man was waiting for us on the porch. As soon as he saw me, he rushed over and grabbed my shoulder, shaking me.
Oh my gosh, you're Claire, the incredibly strong girl making waves online! I can see you becoming the youngest weightlifting champion at the Olympics!
He introduced himself as a talent scout for young athletes. After proving his credibility to my parents, he asked if I wanted to freely showcase my strength, and I said, "Yes, I'd love to!" Training started almost immediately, but it wasn't a challenge for me. I won many weightlifting competitions, and soon my name began spreading beyond our small town. Stories of the super strength prodigy captured the public's imagination. Oh, so that kid pees like a normal person too.
Look at this picture of her picking her nose! Adorable, right?
But things took a turn for the worse on the day my family went for a picnic in the park. While my parents were setting up, I wandered off nearby. An old lady approached in a black pickup truck. She handed me a candy and I took it. Suddenly, she grabbed my hand and pulled me into the truck. "Good girl. I'll take you to get more candy." But I knew what was really happening when I saw 2 burly masked men sitting in the back. Ew, my parents had warned me never to take things from strangers.
This kid is worth a fortune. She's super famous right now.
Their joy didn't last long. The car door creaked and I easily kicked it open, sending it flying far away while the bad guy screamed. "Help me! They're bad people! I'm scared!"
Who's really scared here?
I was successfully rescued. Yay! Even though I wasn't hurt, my parents took the situation very seriously. They insisted that for my safety and to give me a chance in a normal life, we had to move and change our identities. For years, I tried to fit in. I kept my strength a secret, even from our neighbors. My parents and I built a new life, and gradually the media frenzy about the mysterious disappearance of the super strength prodigy faded into a distant memory. By the time I entered high school, I became adept at hiding my strength. I attended classes, made lots of friends, and tried to enjoy a normal teenage life. One of my best friends was Sarah, a sweet bookworm. One afternoon, I saw Sarah in the hallway surrounded by the mean girls. They had her cornered against the locker while continuing to mock her. "Look at her, always has her nose stuck in a book. So pathetic, I wonder if she has any friends." "She does." I spoke up, stepping in front of Sarah. "She has me! Leave her alone!" "What are you gonna do about it, Claire?" I could easily lift the entire locker and throw it at them, but I didn't do that. I needed to control my strength. "Stop playing hero. Who do you think you are? Just stop showing off. Bullying doesn't make you cool. It makes you look pathetic. For a moment, the mean girl seemed taken aback, then tried to regain her composure. Whatever, freak. Let's go, girls. Sarah and I became closer friends, and she often invited me over to her house after school. As we chatted happily, something caught my eye, a flash of light from the far end of the yard. For a brief moment, it reminded me of the flashbulbs aimed at me by reporters years ago. Before I could say anything, Jake appeared from behind a nearby bush holding a camera with a sheepish smile.
Sorry, I couldn't resist capturing that moment. You looked so cute.
Thank you. I felt my face heat up, partly from embarrassment and partly because he was so handsome. This is Jake, my brother. He's a journalist, but also loves photography. He always captures the best moments. Jake showed me the photo. It was indeed the most beautiful and natural picture of me. Our faces were so close I could hear his breath.
Your smile seems familiar.
Jake was handsome, charming, gentle, and smelled really nice. Perfect in every way.
Have we met before?
I don't think so. He had a reason for asking that. Jake led us to his room to show me more beautiful photos he had taken. But what caught my attention was a file titled, The Disappearance of the Super Strength Prodigy. That was my old identity. I swallowed hard as I squinted at the file.
You know her too?
Yeah, a little.
She was amazing, right? She'd be your age now. If she hadn't disappeared, she'd probably still be famous.
My brother has been researching that story for years. If he finds out her identity, his name in journalism will surely rise.
Exactly.
As we left Jake's room, Sarah chatted about her family's weekend plans, but my mind was elsewhere. I could help Jake, the guy I had a crush on at first sight, but that would mean destroying the new identity my parents had worked so hard to maintain. The next day at school, I ran to class to find Sarah so we could go home together, but couldn't find her anywhere. The mean girls were sneaking glances at me and giggling. Surely they had been picking on Sarah again. I searched everywhere until I heard her crying in an empty classroom. Are you in here? Claire, help me! I'm so scared! I twisted the doorknob, but it wouldn't budge. The nasty girls had even poured glue into the lock. I looked around, making sure no one was watching, took a deep breath, and yanked the door hard. The wood splintered in my hands. Sarah burst out, collapsing into my arms, sobbing. Only then did I notice a crowd had gathered behind me, whispering and pointing.
What kind of weird strength did she use to open the door?
So freaky. But I didn't care. I marched straight to the mean girls who were trembling like leaves. Who did this awful thing to Sarah? She's afraid of the dark and tight spaces. We don't know anything. It wasn't us. Then they started blaming each other, even scratching and hitting one another. Unbelievable! Anyway, after that day, some people at school began looking at me with suspicion and fear. Weeks passed, and Sarah was super excited that her brother Jake had been invited to photograph the school prom. And I was too. The thought of seeing him again in my best dress made my heart race. The school gym was beautifully decorated with a sparkling stage. Sarah and I were chatting when Jake approached with his camera slung over his shoulder. He waved, and I shyly waved back. Everything seemed perfect until the DJ set ended the party. Come on stage and dance, Claire! I shook my head, declining Sarah because I wanted some alone time with Jake. Everyone crowded onto the stage, dancing to the booming music, making the stage shake violently. Before anyone could react, the stage collapsed with a thunderous crash, debris flying everywhere. People were panicking, and some students were trapped under the wreckage, including Sarah. Jake had pushed through the crowd to get to his sister, and I helped get Sarah out as gently as possible. But then I heard someone else calling my name from another direction. Claire, help me! Listening closely, I realized the voice was coming from the most wrecked part of the stage. I made a decision in 2 seconds and rushed over, throwing the steel beams aside with my strength. Piece by piece, I freed the students trapped underneath. A weak hand reached out and I grabbed it. The mean girl was nearly unconscious with fear. I scooped her up and ran towards the exit where ambulances were waiting. Everyone step back! Please make way for the injured! It wasn't until the last person was pulled from the rubble that I could finally rest. Jake approached me, handing me a cold bottle of water.
Unbelievable. Claire, how did you...
I pulled Jake aside away from the crowd, knowing there was only one way to explain the chaos of tonight.
What? You're saying you're the super strength prodigy?
Yes, that's me. But my parents wanted me to have a normal life, so they decided to change my identity and move quietly.
I get it. But what just happened? You're going to be in trouble. Too many people saw.
I know. Maybe it's time for you to complete your article. Jake seemed thoughtful, processing everything I'd just told him.
I know what I need to do.
As expected, the days that followed at school were tense. News of my strange strength spread like wildfire. Some students looked at me with fear, avoiding me as if I were a ticking time bomb. Meanwhile, Sarah happily stuck by my side as we walked into the cafeteria. Don't mind them. You're my guardian angel, my superhero. The mean girls were there too. The leader had been discharged from the hospital and was recovering well, but her snooty expression hadn't changed. As she walked towards us, I braced myself for the usual taunt. Everyone, attention please! Oh, a public taunt. Thank you, Claire. She saved our lives. From now on, if anyone has a problem with her or with Sarah, you'll have to deal with us first.
But what if she loses control? What if she hurts someone?
Idiot! Claire had every chance to hurt us that night, but she didn't. Claire is a hero. Scattered applause turned into a roaring ovation. I'd never felt so moved in my life. Jake came to find me at school that day and handed me the latest edition of the newspaper. The front page headline read, "The super strength prodigy is back." For a moment, I felt disappointed. Jake had chosen his career over keeping my secret.
Read it.
Tears welled up as I read the final lines. The disappearance of the super strength prodigy is no longer a mystery. She's still here, still among us, but she chooses to prioritize her privacy and happiness. I hugged Jake, overwhelmed with emotion. The article resonated widely with readers, and Jake gained more fame. The entire school decided to keep my secret and let me live a normal teenage life. Except I got a little extra special treatment. The school organized a grand appreciation event for the heroes of that night, especially for me and Jake. After everyone had left, I still sat quietly in the rows of chairs, as if waiting for something special. Suddenly, Jake took my hand.
There's something I need to tell you. I've fallen for your smile since the first day we met. This photo.
Jake opened his wallet to reveal a picture of me tucked inside.
I like you, Claire. Will you be my girlfriend?
I nodded happily and we hugged. Sarah was even more excited than I was when she found out.